at Columbus Square Recreation Center. This is in South Philadelphia at 13th and Wharton. This site was selected because this part of Philadelphia has some flooding issues during intense rainstorms, and also because of the community outreach that we had. We worked very closely with the Park Advisory Board, and then we went the next step and had community meetings at the rec center.
Anytime we're working on a green streets project, the water department likes to involve the community from the beginning. We want to make sure that the community is happy with that project because they are the ones that live across the street from the project. They are the ones that walk by the project every day, and we really have to rely on our partners to help us maintain the projects.
The project that we're constructing here is a pilot project for our green infrastructure stormwater program. It's the first time that we're installing stormwater management planters in Philadelphia. Right now in South Philadelphia we're in a combined sewer area, and about 60% of Philadelphia is actually combined sewer. And what happens with that type of system is that on a dry day, it's taking all of the sewer discharge from all of the houses and buildings in this area and taking that to our wastewater treatment plant. The problem comes when it starts to rain because the rainwater is also put into those same pipes, and the pipes just don't have the capacity to hold all of that water, and eventually this results in overflows directly into the river. And that actually is an overflow of both rainwater and the sewage coming from the buildings. So it's definitely an issue for the water department, and it's an issue of water quality for the city. What we're trying to do with the green infrastructure is to mitigate those overflows into the river by managing the water actually on the site. Stormwater planters are planters like you see anywhere in the city, with the key difference that they're slightly below grade instead of above grade. The planters are designed to take runoff from about 8,000 square feet of street and sidewalk. The water gets into the planters in two different ways. There's an inlet that's in the street called a grate inlet, and then there's also an inlet that's in the sidewalk, which is called an open mouth inlet. You'll actually see the water start to pond in the planters for a few inches, and that water is going to trickle through the soil. Beneath that soil, in order to manage the higher volumes that we need to manage, we have a stone layer. The water will go down in there, collect in that stone, and then be detained until the peak of the storm has passed and actually released back into the system, but at a rate at which the system can handle it without overflowing. There are very valid concerns that come from community members. Individuals who've had flooding on their property, it's very understandable that they would want the water to get away from their property as fast as possible, and the entire design of these is to keep that water on site. So there was a very specific process of explaining that this does not mean that there'll be more water in their basement, or the sidewalk will be damaged, or more pests in the neighborhood, that things could actually improve.
This is the thing. It'll probably be like that.
I like it.
Wow, it looks good already.
Even though the water department is very vested in the project and will make sure that the projects are functioning properly, we expect the community to help us out by identifying any problems. If there's litter, if there's dog waste, if there's vandalism, these are the sort of things that we may not be able to identify on our own. We'll need to rely on the community to identify for us. Today we're here with students from Christopher Columbus Charter School, and they're working with us. They're helping us plant the planters, but after they're installed, we're expecting them to help us maintain the planters.
Our students have adopted the planters, and they'll be taking care of the plants and learning at the same time how to help the environment. And they'll be learning about impervious surfaces and how water goes into the ground and then into the sewers.
Thank you, guys.
What's the word aerate? What does it sound like?
Air it out.
So it creates,
moves around and it creates pockets so water can go. The fact that our students are learning science hands-on is a definite advantage to them.
Well, I think it's important to involve the community because ultimately this is a public space. People congregate, people walk through. And I'm actually here a lot because I volunteer here and I take care of a lot of the plants and the trees here, and I have for a long time. So people know me and will talk with me, and I'm able to educate them in the way that I've been educated about stormwater management.
So maybe slow down.
Once we've implemented a green project in a neighborhood, neighbors next to that neighborhood start asking us, well, when are we going to get one of these projects in our community?
This is just one small step. This is something that it's permanent.
It's been amazing, the demand that there is out there right now. We've been getting communities calling us left and right, hey, I want a green street in my neighborhood. How can I get a green street in my community? And that's due to the success of these demonstration projects.